Okay, Rod, 2-0 up, but ended up 2-2. Is that a point lost, or a 2 points lost, or a point gain there?
You'd have to say it's 2 points lost, Ollie, with the position that we was in 2-0 up. But when you split the game into two halves, I thought first half we was outstanding. I thought the shape and everything, we looked really compact and played some really good football. But goals change games, and I think we was 2-0 up, and I think Dan Martin's hit a fantastic corner that's come in, and I don't know how Ricardo hasn't put it in from probably worse ways, a yard out, as he said he should have scored it. It was right centre of the goal. That goes in, that's 3-0. I think that really gives them a problem at half time. Obviously we could hear, I don't know if it was Scott or whoever, at half time went absolutely crazy at them. And then Scott brought himself on just before the was it at half time he come on, or just before? And they just played percentages, and they never looked to pass it or nothing like that. They just put two big lumps on up front that caused us a problem. And all they'd done is every time they got the ball, they put a lot of air on it and tried to drop it in behind. And so it all of a sudden just become a fight ball, which that ain't our strengths, to be honest. And I could see some of the weak signs when we weren't really winning enough first and seconds. And I've got to be honest, it feels like a defeat, but it isn't a defeat. And in the first half, we really should have won the game. The game should have been dead and buried. But right to the death, we had to compete. We had to try and stay in it. I'd like to see the two goals. One was from a free kick, and to be fair, he's got a good header that's looped in the back post, so you'd have to say someone would have been picking him up. And then the other goal, it looks like it's sort of, we never really cleared our lines, and I think it might have been Goddard that scored that drifted into the box and took his goal well. And then you probably fear for us. But to be honest, we've gone at the other end, and I mean, yeah, Dion Moore's from 6 yards out. Great contact on it, just no direction, put it straight at the keeper. So if that goes in, I think, what time would that have been? Probably
90th minute.
90.
It was 90, bang on 90, I think. Wasn't it?
90 minutes, I think we win the game. So when you look at it, it's boiled down to us obviously not dealing with the pressure second half, and then it's dealt with obviously the first opportunity in the first half from Ricardo that would have made it 3-0. But as I just said to Dion in there, you could have been an hero today, which has got us the points, because I thought you got everything right. I thought the delivery was great. It was probably similar to the one Ricardo missed. I think Ricardo's was easier to score. But yeah, on reflection, I thought the boys, they showed signs that we had to deal with a difficult situation second half, just relentless pumping balls in, putting as much height and distance on it. And it's very hard because you do get backed up on the edge of your box. So we did break a few times. I thought I could see a few boys looking tired and a few boys that sort of looked like they wasn't sort of at the races for periods of time. So we had to make changes. And all the subs come on, and I'm not saying they all made great impacts, but they had to come on in difficult circumstances where the game was now 2-2. So we have to take the positives, because there was plenty of positives I thought in the first half. I thought he just looked so much more organised, good shape, everybody knew their jobs. We won a lot of first and second balls, but then you have to give Slough credit that they had a game plan second half and they stuck to it.
A word for Scott Cashcare. Obviously he's been brought in last week, and as he's shown there why we brought him in, 2 goals in a minute and a bit there, showing signs of the kind of player that he is.
Yeah, I mean, Scott, he's a pedigree, isn't he? He's played at the level. He's had a great career, and I've got to be honest, I thought Dion Moore looked really powerful in the first half. He got going after about 15-20 minutes, but we were very, very good today in that first period. I know supporters have probably felt that we should have held on to it, but it is tough out there when you're under siege. The ball never stuck up top for us. We never really won enough in midfield, so we never really got on the ball to get us out. A lot of it was sort of tackling from the wrong side and trying to clear headers and hook your lines. It was pressure football. But I felt from pretty much 2 hours were night and day. And I felt from when you looked at Tuesday's performance to today's performance, I thought that was night and day. So I felt, today you could see that the boys bought into what we worked on Thursday. and I felt that, we gave a good account of ourselves. But same again, as I said to the players, it's going to be someone's responsibility that they haven't done their jobs for both of the goals. But we have been, we earned the right to play in the first half, and we were gifted 2 great opportunities to still win the game. One at 3-0 and one at 2-2. So we can't put the ball in for them. We can't put the ball in the net. But overall, I've got to say, listen, I think it was a game of 2 halves, and you've got to give Slough credit that they've come back from a 2-0 deficit and managed to score 2 goals and took a draw. So we haven't lost. It does feel like a loss. It does, I've got to be honest, it does feel like a loss in there. But we've had a real sort of busy week this week. We've the defeat over at Tunbridge was obviously tough to watch, and tough to take a lot from. And then obviously we've had the other situation as well at the club this week. So it's been really tough. So for the boys to come out and show us what they can do for 45 minutes, I was really pleased. And now it's down to me and my staff to try to just get us bedded in and see if we can still continue what we built first half, but we need to do it for longer periods, and that's what our plan is.
Mentioned that situation with Kevin earlier in the week, changing things up in the back room. It's a free week next week now, so no midweek game, which obviously gives the chance to rest some legs, and we've got a long journey to Truro next weekend. But does that also give enough time, a decent amount of time now to implement the new things with the new coach coming in and all that kind of stuff? Is it a bit of a relief that there's no midweek game next week, that we can spend a bit of time on the training field like Tuesday, Thursday or Friday?
Yeah, definitely, Ollie. I thought today, if you watch just the way that our restarts was and everything today, I mean, I'm sure you would have seen there was a lot more positives from that side of things. With the Kev situation, it wasn't easy. I've got a lot of time for Kev. I think he's a good guy. But sometimes I just felt, I don't know how we was going to stimulate the players from now to the end of the season. So, okay, people can say, well, I can go and Kev can come in, or whatever the case is. But at the end of the day, I'm the manager of the club, and I've had backing from the club to do that. But I just felt by just giving us a bit of fresh ideas on the training ground, different systems, etc., and I just felt it was right that, from now we're down to 10 league games, but for the 11 league games that we've got to complete from now to the end of the season, I needed an injection of something. And I think you see that today. I think you can say, you can't, I think today, even at 2-2, we still look quite organised without the ball, and, people getting in and dropping into shape. So I said to the boys in there, I think we'd have probably lost that in normal circumstances. And especially what the one of the staff said in there was that, normally when you go to 2-2, you normally end up losing it. And we didn't do that. So I was really pleased with lots of things. I thought our corners today looked a lot more, looked like we should have won the game on 2 corners today. We haven't looked like we're going to score from a corner. And I thought our restarts today were very, very good, the way that we moved teams about, and we got the ball into feet, and we got crosses in the box. So that was a real plus, and I just think the system that we played today, I thought we looked very comfortable. So for me, it was a situation where I just said, well, we're going to need to change. And I think the boys have enjoyed the information they've been given. I think they feel very well structured now. And as you say, next week can only give us a real sort of boost and a push for the coach to come in and give us another couple of training sessions. So I think that will only help us. And I think you've seen from one session on Thursday, I think you've seen today, what I'd call nearly a good performance, rather than, second half sort of, conceding 2 goals. But on the front foot, I thought we looked very good, and I'm sure we'll be okay going forward with a new coach.
Cheers, Rod. See you next weekend.
Cheers, pal.